confident on my whatever terminology I'm going to use it, whatever message I want to convey. Okay? So that is the barrier we need to break, and it is quite easy to do it as well, right? Which I did it myself a couple of years back. We have to get started. Okay, so the entire session, the all the sessions, all the topics, whichever
Once
I'm
again,
going to cover
welcome
it,
everyone. Welcome
it
to
is
Isha
designed in
Training
such a way that
Solutions.
most of these things are
Myself,
very
Saravanan
taken care.
Srinivasan.
The whatever
So I'm
expectations
going to take
that
you through
are
this journey
listed
of
out in the slide one, right?
Dynatrace
So all
product
these
learning.
things for
So
you to
what
get
we will do today,
confident about
we will discuss on the
talking
course
about all these
content,
areas
what we
as
are
a
going to
performance
cover
engineer,
for this course journey.
you would be able to do it
Please
once you
ask your
complete this
questions
batch,
wherever
and
is
once
actually
you
required. If you
have a
feel like
hands-on on all these
some
topics,
topic you need
definitely you'll be able
explanation,
to do it.
or
Okay, and
what
again,
is your expectation out of this course.
when you, unless otherwise you're
So
going to
what
get
we
into a
will do, we'll
real
discuss on
project,
the course
you're not
content.
going to get a feel
Anywhere
of
if
it,
you
right?
require any
The other
additional
problem what
information
we
or
see is most of
clarity,
the organization will not
please
get a
stop me at
role,
any
or
point
will
of time,
get
ask
a
your questions, and then
opportunity to do all these things. Will
we'll
not
move
even
on.
get a access to the server to
Okay.
get logged. Will not even get access
So
to
without wasting further
monitor
time,
and get the
we'll
scripts. We have to rely
quickly
upon the ops
discuss
team
on
or
the
infra team to
course
give us an
content. Hope my screen is visible for
CSV
everyone.
file or a log file for us to
So
go and look into it. Okay. So my
what we are going to
solution
do,
for that is, and it
industry
worked out as
level,
well for you,
how
for me,
people
and
are
a couple of my other
using this tool.
people in my previous batches as well,
Okay.
right? You get
So
your
in
hands
that
on
way, this
at
course
your home.
content is
Don't wait for
actually
the
designed so
opportunities
that
to come at
after
office.
completing this course content,
You
we
set
will
your
be
own
in a
missions, you
position
set
to
your
work
own
as a,
development
Dynatrace
environment. You have to think
professional.
as a
Okay.
developer to get
So
started.
the first
Okay, if
topic
at
is
all,
actually what are
as
APM
I'm
tools.
still assuming that most of you
Right now,
would
that
be as a
understanding
performance
is
tester
missing
trying to
with
get into a performance
many of
engineering
the
role.
professionals.
So
APM
you
tools
have to think
means
yourself
what?
as a developer, right? No
Okay.
more as a
So
tester,
application
which
performance
means you
monitoring or
have to get a
application
basics about
performance management tool, APM tool.
your programming
Okay.
language,
Now even
get hands-on
APM
on all
tools,
the tools that are required to
they
do
are
the performance
claiming their
engineering role.
names into different
So that is how
names as well.
you
They are
going to
calling
be a
them as
performance
a
engineer, rather than getting
observability
into technical
platform.
knowledge and then waiting
Okay,
for opportunity. It
observability
is not going to work
platform.
out.
Okay, that
And
too.
even for me,
Dynatrace, what they are
when I look
claiming,
as
they are
a performance
observability
engineering
platform.
role,
They have the capability to
I
implement the
mean,
observability
it's
in
not
your
that easy, right?
organization.
It is going to be
But
competitive
first of all,
environment,
we should
both
know
at the
the fundamental understanding
your
about
current
APM tool.
organization
So
or
that is what
outside. So
we are going to do.
in
What
today's
are
world,
APM tools
with
means application
cloud and
performance monitoring
Amazon
or
missions,
application
you'll be able to
performance
get
management tool.
access to all the
And then we
tools,
are going to discuss about the
infra,
different
and there are
different
a lot of
capabilities
open
of
source
this tool
projects
as
available
well.
in GitHub where you
Okay.
can easily get
And in the
yourself
next topic,
used
we
to
are
all these
going to
things.
learn
I'll also
why
help you through
APM
this
tools are
session how to do
required to be
this.
learned by
Yeah, so the
developers,
session
performance
two, the
testers,
next session, right?
performance engineers.
Again,
Because
I'm not going to go
that
deep into
understanding
the
is
performance
also missing
engineering
right now.
before setting you for
Everybody, what they are
basics.
thinking
When
is
I
that
say basics,
Dynatrace is a tool.
uh,
It is
the
designed for
minimum
performance
knowledge
testers like
or
that. But
concept that is required for you to
uh,
go ahead, right?
anybody can use it provided what
The
activity that they
more
are
Java
doing is
basics,
actually
the
important.
JVM
Developer can
architecture.
use it, performance tester,
You need to
performance
understand
engineer, system support
what a
engineer.
propeller is going to do.
Anybody can
You need
use
to
it provided
get
what
used to
activity
heap,
that they are performing
stack,
is actually
memory,
important.
threads. So all
So
these
that is what
basic
we are going to
concepts,
discuss in
setting
this
up your
topic,
server
because
or setting up
everybody's
your machine
mindset is
for
this is a
development
tool
purpose,
only designed for
right?
performance testers. The
Installing the
performance testers
JDK,
only can
setting up
use
the
this tool. No,
environmental
not
variables,
like that.
creating
So,
programs. So you should have a
developers,
environment in your hand
when they are doing
which
unit testing, they can
would
use it.
be
Performance
prototype of
testers,
a server
performance
environment, right?
engineers,
So you know,
system
as
support
a
engineers, anybody can use
developer,
it,
get it on
provided
Eclipse, create
what
programs,
activity
compile
that
it,
they are performing is
run it,
important. Based
deploy it
on
in
that, you can
Tomcat,
use this tool
and
capability.
introduce
Okay, that is
problem,
what they understand.
profile it, debug it, fix it. So
Okay,
not in a massive
so
way,
which means that
but at least in a very
why
subset of
it
that.
has to be
So which means
learned
you'll be
by all these
confident
people, we
about
are going to
the
discuss in
what
a
you're going to talk. You're going to talk
detailed
about
way
heap, you're
as
going to
well.
talk about stack, you're going to
Okay,
talk about
and
thread.
then straight away we are going
What
to
is
learn
that?
about introduction to
Have you
Dynatrace.
really have seen it?
Okay,
So setting up this
Dynatrace,
basics is going to
the
really
journey and
help you
where we
to
are right now,
get a
all
feel
those
of
things
that,
we are going
get
to
comfortable
discuss.
in all these
And
terms,
Dynatrace
get
and its
comfortable with this
competitor.
environment, right? So
that is also
session 2 is
important
going to
because
be
this
more
journey
about
is not going to end if you're
helping
only
you to
completing
have
one
this
tool,
kind of
right?
an
You may be learning
environment,
other tools
knowing about
also,
the basics. That
or
is
in
what
your
they
organization they may be
planning to
implementing
do.
other APM tools as
And
well.
again, this
Or
or
during
all
interview,
the sessions would
someone
be
can
pretty
ask you
much
like, what are all the tools
theoretical
in the
plus
market,
50% of
APM tools in the market?
many doing practical
So,
exercises,
so for that understanding,
creating
we are going
problems,
to learn about
debugging it
other
using tools,
competitors in the
and
market
then
as well.
fixing it.
Okay,
So
at least, I mean, at
that
least
kind of
name at
an
least. Okay, you should know
sessions
what
are
are all
what
the other
designed
tools
for
in the
the
market. So that
almost
is what we are
entire
going to discuss in this
program.
topic.
Okay, so session
And
2 is more about
deployment architecture.
you
So
making
Dynatrace is
yourself
actually
comfortable
having
with
two
the
deployment
development
architecture.
environment, understanding the
One
basics
is
about the Java or
software
JDBs.
as a service model,
Session
SaaS-based
3,
model.
from session 3 onwards,
Another
what
one
we'll
is
do is,
on-premises
as
or
I told in the
managed model.
beginning, we'll go with the SDLC
On-premises or
architecture, right?
managed
The first
model.
part of
These
the
two models
enough
are actually
hours
available.
and the
Okay,
design overview,
SaaS-based
we
means
will keep
what?
it at the last. The main reason
The
is
tool vendor is
once you
actually
know about
having
all
all the
the
access.
basics
The
of
tool vendor is
problems,
actually having all the
issues,
access, and you
how
are
to solve
only
it,
going to
then
use
you
the
would be able
service.
to do the enough
For that, you are
gathering
going to
or do the
pay
design review
cost
properly.
to
So
the
let's not get
vendor.
into theoretical
Okay,
part
that is what the
at the start.
SaaS-based model
Let's
means.
get our hand into the code, get our hand into the tools. So will
Okay, SaaS-based
the
model,
sessions are going to be like
you are only going to
a
get the
new application is
benefits
getting
of
developed.
using the
You
tool.
as an engineer is
Rest
going to get
all
involved early
activities are managed by the
at the
vendor.
development stage. What all you're going
SaaS-based
to do?
model.
What all
For
issues you're
that,
going
you
to
are
face?
going to pay the
What will be
license
you
cost. Okay,
lot of problems
so
that you're
it may
going
be for
to face
storage, it may be
from
for
an
tool license,
application
anything.
perspective, right at
You
the
are going
single
to
user
pay
level,
license
right at the
cost,
code level, and then going
and
into
you are only
testing
going to
when the testing
enjoy
is
the
going on.
service
So we'll go through one by
in
one.
the
The
case of
session 3 would
SaaS-based
be
model.
mainly the problem
Similarly, on the
downside
on-premises
problem
or
or
managed
even
model, what you are going to
total
do?
load testing. Right? So how are you
Everything
going
is
to
actually
analyze
managed
the
within
fault
our
find
firewall, within our
for
system,
your
within our
application, and how are you
infrastructure.
going to use the
Okay,
tools to
only tool
debug it,
license you are
right?
going to get
So
it
what
from
I'll
the
do is
vendor.
I'll probably
Okay,
do
that is
a
the
quick
on-premises model. Why we are doing
preview
like this?
on
Why we are
how it is going to
purchasing
look like, right?
SaaS-based
For
model,
you
or
to
why we are
understand how
purchasing
exactly
managed
this
model?
practical session is going to be
Based on the
for
customer
you.
requirement.
Let me go to
Okay,
the
customer sometimes they are very focused and they are very strict in the data handling.
yeah.
Okay, they are saying like
I
data
have
breach
a
should not happen.
I'll use
Lot
an
of
e-library
sensitive data that we are
application
dealing like that. When the
with
customer is
which
actually saying that
you'll
time
be
you are going to
creating
use
performance issues,
a managed
and
model because you
I'll
don't want to
be
send your
debugging
data
it using
outside the
the
world.
tools like JProfilers or
You wanted to
virtual
maintain
VMs.
everything within the firewall.
What I'll do is
In
I'll go
that
and
case,
deploy
you are going to
one
use
file.
the managed model. But you are going to store lot of data. Say like you are going to store lot of data. Each day you are going to store lot of data.
Okay, and I'll go
In
and
that case,
start
what will
the
you think?
Tomcat.
Why should I take the responsibility? Why should I store lot of data, data backup, data archival, data maintenance,
So it should
all
get
those
started
things?
in
Why
one
I
minute.
have to take the responsibility? Instead, I am going to give that
It's
responsibility to
deploying
the
the
tool
archive.
vendor.
Okay, it
In
started.
that case,
So I'll
we
go and
will
open
purchase
the
SaaS-based model because SaaS-based model everything handled by the vendor. Everything handled by the vendor. So there are criteria
okay.
or
So
there
this is
are
my
requirements that
e-library
are there
application.
for
I'll try to
choosing
log into
whether
this.
we wanted to implement on-premises model or
So
we
again, the
wanted to
assumption here
implement
is you as a performance
SaaS-based
engineer
model.
getting
That and
involved
all we
into
are
the
going to
early in the
discuss
life
in the
cycle,
detailed way during
and
our
there's an
regular
application developed,
sessions.
at
Okay,
least a minimal
I'll take a
feature,
pause here, guys. Any
and
question
you
till
have
now, guys?
started involving in finding out the problem at the very beginning level. Even before we write LoadRunner scripts or Jmeter scripts, get into load testing. That's going to happen way
No questions, Ramesh.
after in the life cycle, right?
Okay, Simon.
Normally, we don't do a load
Thank you.
testing earlier in most of the cases. So in this case, so I just got a URL from the
Yeah.
developer, and I'm just
So
logging in,
moving on to the next topic. Yes,
and I
we are
see
going to do the
the
installation
pages
of
getting loaded.
Dynatrace One
It is
Agent.
taking time, so that is
Okay, which is very, very
typical
important
issue what we are going to face at the
because
beginning of the new application, right? Not a
uh,
lot of
first of
applications at the
all, what
beginning
we
are
are
going to
going to
behave
do, we are
in
going to
similarly.
configure
So
One Agent,
you as a performance engineer,
and through
how are
that,
you going to debug?
data
How are you
capture
going
is
to
actually
find
happening.
problems? How are you going
Data
to provide
capture is
recommendation?
actually
And
happening.
then
Okay. Before to that,
post
maybe I'll
fix,
draw a
how are you
small
going to
picture
verify
how
it? Okay,
every
so this is the
uh,
problem, right?
how every APM
Where
tools it is actually working. Okay, example,
whether it is going to be a problem at the
you
client side,
have
or it is a problem with the
your
network, or it is a problem with
systems,
the
okay,
server side.
servers.
that is how your troubleshooting is going to start.
You can
right?
say this is
Because
actually
this
your
response time could be
browser,
because of your local machine having a bandwidth problem, or it could be
and
some
this is actually
client side
your
JavaScript, or it could be a server side issue,
application
right?
server.
So we'll talk about how are we going to troubleshoot the problem. But what I'm going to show is
And this is actually your
use one
database
of the
server.
profiler, Java profiler, to debug the problem, right? So what I'll do is I'll open
Okay.
the
So you have your
J profiler.
browser, you have your application
So there
server,
are a
you
couple of
have
tools which we
your
are going to use it throughout the session, right?
database
There are a lot
session.
of tools that comes along with the Java
So
itself.
every
J
APM
profiler is
tool,
there,
how it is
sorry,
actually working, you
J
need to
visual VM is there,
configure
J
the
console is there,
agents.
your Java
You
machine
need to
control is there.
configure
J
the
profiler is one of the
agents. In each and every
commercial
entity, you
tool
have to
which is available
configure
for
the
your free
agents.
trials, right? So what I'll do is
Okay.
I'll open the
Example, here
J
one
profiler,
agent.
okay,
Okay.
and then I will attach this with the process ID. We'll go through in detail about how to
Here one
find the
agent.
process ID, what are the various, how to configure the J profilers, but more from the preview. Um, so we have a problem,
And
right?
here
We
one.
have a problem of the response
So,
time.
so
Let's
each
go
place you
into
need to
the
configure the agent, browser
J
level
profiler.
or application server level or your database level, like that. You need to configure the agent. And functionality of the agent is what? What is agent basically? It is a small piece of software you are going to run inside your servers or your
Still
browsers
just
or
trying to
whatever.
get connected to the
What is
JVM.
the functionality of the agent? It is designed to capture the metrics. The agents are actually designed to capture the metrics, whatever the relevant metrics. Okay. So what these agents will do, it will collect the data and it will send the
Okay,
data to
sampling.
your
Okay.
tool. Okay, whatever may be
Okay.
the
So in
tool.
this, I'm coming here. My
Okay,
intention
APM tool.
is to identify problems, right? Still,
Whatever
I
may be
haven't
the
got the my
APM
page.
tool.
So what I'll be able to do is
So
there's something
this is
called
the common
CPU
behavior
review,
almost in all the
and it
APM
is going
tools.
to
It is
record the
actually
CPU
happening.
data, and
Okay,
then it will
it
also
may be
help us me in
Dynatrace, it
identifying
may
the
be
hotspots
AppDynamics,
or
it may
the
be Neuralink, it may be
hotspots
Datadog,
within
whatever the APM tool.
my code. Okay.
This is what
So still
is
it is
actually
loading.
happening.
Okay, still it is loading.
So your
I will
entities or
states.
systems or servers that are there, and each and every place you need to configure the agent, and based on the
Okay,
configuration
if you
the
see here,
data is
right, this is
actually
how we'll get
collected, and
started.
that collected data
When we come to the
you are
call
going to
tree,
display it in the
the still
APM
it
tools.
just got loaded, right? The response time just got
Okay,
loaded. It took maybe
so
what 20
each tool
seconds.
is actually
So I'll come to
having
the
their name
Java
and
profiler.
their
I
own
will go to the
naming
call tree, and I'll
conventions
look
for
into
the agents.
the calls,
Okay,
how the call has happened, right?
for Dynatrace the
From
naming
the
convention,
your
I mean
Tomcat,
for
it
Dynatrace
went into something called admit
every
login dot do post.
entity you are going
I
to
believe
install
it
with
could be a admin
the
login, could be a
agent
but
called
maybe a
one
class file,
agent.
and do post would be a method. That's
The name itself one agent.
that is how
Okay,
the
the
naming
name
convention
itself
works, right? Class
one
file followed
agent.
by the
So you are
method,
going to
and there is
install
something
that one
called
agent across
external
the
calls in
servers.
get. Okay,
Okay,
so out of these
irrespective of any servers, it may be Windows or
100%,
Linux
right,
or
it
whatever.
shows 18.6
Every
percentage.
entity you are going
Close to
to
13
install the
seconds is spent
agent
within this
called
admin
one
login,
agent. The
and then
name
with
itself
this admin
one
login,
agent.
there is an external call that is
Okay,
happening, right?
so that
Which took
agent you
12
are going
seconds.
to
So,
configure.
which means there's a
Unlike
problem with my
in AppDynamics
particular
and all, there is a
external
separate
call
agent for
where it
Java
is trying
agent,
to
.NET
get a
agent,
response, right?
Python agent, Node.js agent,
There could be many
Windows
reasons
Server
why
agent,
this
Linux
external
Server agent,
calls might getting
MySQL agent, Mongo
slower.
agent.
Maybe because of the
Like that,
network, or it could be because of
each
the third party
entity you are going to
responding
use
slowly because of
different
its own
agent
performance.
types. If in,
But
I mean,
okay,
example
so
in the
the
case of
way
AppDynamics, you are
the
doing like
session is
that.
going to happen for this response time analysis is we are going to
But
I have already created
in
a problem
Dynatrace,
because of which my
every
admin login is
server you
delayed,
are going to
and as
monitor
a
with the
performance engineer,
same
I'm seeing a
agent
problem,
called
and I
one
come to
agent.
JProfiler, and
Okay,
how I'm going to
I
use the
mean the name
JProfiler
of the
to
agent
find
I'm
out the
saying. So that
class
one agent
or the
you need to
method
install it in
or
your web server, app server,
the
DB server,
corresponding method
wherever
calls,
you wanted to
and with
install.
this I would
You
be
are
able to
going to
go back to
install the agent.
my developer,
So
and provide
wherever
the
the
permission
agent is
saying there's a
actually
huge amount
available,
of
the
time is
agent will
taken
take
for
the
a particular
complete
external
control of
call
the
dot
system.
send get. Okay, that is
Okay,
how I'm going to use the
whatever
JProfiler
things
to
that are
troubleshoot
happening
my
in the server,
problem.
right, that
Okay,
will
this is a
be
very simple
captured by the one
preview
agent
example
and
which
it
I
will
wanted to
send the
give it to
data
you,
to
right?
the tool. Okay,
pass
APM
on
tool.
here for the this
So that
particular
too,
response okay. Similarly,
just now I told you,
our next thing would be on
for AppDynamics
for
you
the
are
structure
having
analysis. As
Java
you said,
agent,
we'll be using
.NET
JProfiler,
agent,
JVShellVM.
Node.js
I'll
agent,
be
like
using
that I
Eclipse
told you, right?
project
Different
and
agent for
what file required in
different
Tomcat
monitoring
to
capability.
find out the problem, debug it,
So
and then fix it.
if if
Fourth is
someone is
next session
asking
would
like
be
how it is
on
actually handled
memory,
in
right?
Dynatrace, okay,
Again, memory is
in
a huge
Dynatrace,
topic.
how
Memory
it is actually handled in
memory
Dynatrace
problems
means,
are something very very
in
quite common
Dynatrace what they are doing,
for us
they are
when
installing the agent
during
on
the
the
performance testing we would
host
see a
level.
lot of out of
They are
exceptions, or
installing the agent
during
on the
endurance tests
host
the
level.
memory
Okay,
growth is
host is
happening
nothing but
rapidly.
your
After 3
server.
hours 5
Okay,
hours the
your
server getting
application server
crashed,
or your
right?
database
So
server.
you would have heard about
Okay,
the
even your web
leaks
server,
in the
whatever. Okay, the
occurring in
agent
Java,
is actually
especially
installed
the
on
heater.
top of the
Heater
host,
to understand the
and that
how
is the
these are
reason it is
properly
actually
handled,
identifying
right? So all
what
these
are all the
general
services or process that
basics
are
about
running on top of
memory,
the
how it is
host.
handled by
Okay,
JVM,
I'll draw a
and what
small
are the
picture.
leaks, how are
So
we
what
going
they
to
are saying, I mean,
use the tools like
in
ShowVM
Dynatrace
and
what they are claiming,
JProfiler
say
to
this is a host,
identify the leaks, how we are
this
going
is
to fix
a
it.
host.
So again,
In that
combination of
the agent is actually running.
theory, tool plus practical sessions, right? That's how we are going to do it.
The agent is
Again, let
actually
me do a quick
running. What
preview
they are
on
saying, the
what
agent
we are
is
going to
actually
see.
running,
I'll
right?
go back to the
This is actually
my
installed in your particular host. Example, for
J
now you take an
profiler.
example, it is actually a Windows host.
Okay,
Windows
so
host.
I'll
So what this
run a
agent
jar
will
file
do,
which is having a memory path.
whatever the service or the process that are running on top of this host, it will identify. Whatever the service or the process that are running on top. Example, I'm saying there is a Java running.
Going here.
Okay, there is a Tomcat running, Apache Tomcat. Okay, say there is MySQL. This will not happen, but I'm saying in your single machine, what are all the things that are there, it will identify it. Okay, so it will identify
So I
when
started
Java
that
is
jar
actually
file, which
running,
is again
Tomcat is actually running,
a Java
MySQL is actually
program,
running, like that.
which is going to get
Whatever the
executed, right?
service
Let
or
me
the process
open
that
the
are running on top of the
J profiler.
host, right, that will be identified by the agent. So this agent will collect this data,
Okay, there is
and
something
then this
called a
data.
new PID has come for
All
my
the
memory
things that are
issue.jar.
captured, and it will send the data. It will send the data to your APM tool.
Close my Tomcat so that it is not consuming memory.
Okay, so that is what
So it is connected to the
the
memory
functionality basically.
issue.jar.
Okay, so what they are claiming, they are installing the one agent on top of the host, and on top of the host, what are all the service or the process that are running, that will be identified by the agent, and it will capture the data, send the
Again, try
data to
to
your APM tool.
attach it.
That is what is
Download.
actually happening in the real world.
Yes, sampling.
Okay, so this is
Okay.
the reason they are
So
claiming
I'll go
they are
into
not.
my
The person you are
tab,
speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line.
and
நீங்கள்
memory is
பேசும்
so
நபர்
far
உங்கள் அழைப்பை
flat.
Sorry, guys.
So some
So this
operation
is
is
the
going
reason
on
they
with
are
my
claiming
Java program.
they are not
At
installing
some point of
separate agent
time,
for
it
.NET,
is
separate agent for
increased,
Java, separate
say
agent for
from
Node.js, like that. They are
5
having
MB.
one
It now
agent. That
went
one
up to
agent is actually installed on top of the host.
3
On
40
that
MB,
host,
right?
whatever the
So it
service
is
or process that
growing.
are running, it will
Okay,
be identified.
you could see here.
Okay, so what we are going to do in
So
our
let it
course
run for
content
a couple
also,
of
we are going to
seconds.
install that one agent. I mean, I'm going to explain that, and we are going to see the
So
status
normally
of the
what happens is,
installation.
say
Once you
example,
are
when I'm going to run
done
a
with that,
garbage collection,
so
right?
your
What will happen
agent
is the
will
used
collect the
heap
data.
will come down
Okay, whatever the activity that
to
are
a certain
happening in
level
the
for
server,
sure.
right?
Okay, and if it is not going to come
That will
down,
be collected.
then we can suspect a leak.
So
We'll get into
these
the
APM tools,
concept
you
of
know,
what is heap,
these
what
APM
is
tools are
leak,
having
all these
lot of
things in detail.
capabilities,
But I
guys.
want to
Okay.
give a preview on
Example,
what happens.
I'll list certain capabilities.
When
Real
there's a problem
user
with the memory
monitoring.
in my program,
Real
how am I
user.
going to
When the
monitor it?
real user
How
is
am I going to
actually
compile it
accessing
using
the
the tool?
application,
And how am I going to
you are going
debug
to
it?
measure
Now,
it.
when I
And then
run a JC,
synthetic
it came down
monitoring.
a bit,
Synthetic
but
monitoring,
not
it's
much,
kind of
right?
a
So,
automatic robotic manner.
with
Okay,
this, I could
automatic
see
robotic manner you are going
there will
to
be I mean, obvious
measure it. That is actually synthetic
results where
monitoring.
your jar file
Okay,
could throw out
synthetic
out of
monitor,
memory
real
exception if
user
it's very too
monitoring.
bad. If it is a small
And then
leaks, you would
Host
still
level
be able
monitoring,
to
process
find
level
out by
monitoring,
running a GC and looking into the recovery, you'll be
service
able
level
to
monitoring,
at least observe
database level
or
monitoring,
decide there are going to
and
be
then
leaks,
network
right?
level monitoring.
So once you know there are going to be leaks using the JProfiler tool, and you'll be
All
able
these
to go to the
capabilities that are there.
I think it got
Okay, real
yeah,
user
it
and
got
synthetic,
stopped.
more
Let me
focused on
again
front
rerun
end.
it,
This is server.
or rather
This is
the
also your
title of the ad, right?
application,
So
and then
so this is what we
database,
want to
and then
see from
network.
the
So
JProfiler
all these are
API as
actually
well. We are
the
going to
capabilities that are
create
available in the APM
Java
tool.
programs which is going to
Okay,
have
real user
when there
monitoring,
be leaks.
synthetic monitoring,
And we,
host level
as a
monitoring,
performance
process
engineer,
monitoring, service
as a
monitoring,
black box,
database
we are going to
monitoring,
run this
and network
application.
monitoring.
We
All
are
those
going
things
to
are
run these
capabilities that are available
jar
in the
files, and
APM
using
tool.
JProfiler,
Along with that,
we are going to come
there
here.
are
We are
other
going to
capabilities are there, but right
let
now
me
I
anyway
wanted to
do
explain
again start
these are the
this and
capabilities
also
that are
show
there in the
how are we going to take the heat
APM
dump
tool.
here.
So in
Let's
that
catch it
only we
again.
are going to cover
So
one by one, one by one,
again,
one
there's a
by one.
new bit
Okay, that
came
entire
here.
course content is actually
Okay.
designed
How are you going to
in
look into
that
the objects which are
arrangement
leaking?
only.
What are the
So first topic is
major
actually
correction that
front
is
end
happening?
monitoring.
How the
Okay,
GC
front end
activity is
monitoring is
happening?
nothing but we are
And
going to learn about real
how are we
user
going to
monitoring.
identify the class
Okay,
file?
recently they
How are we
changed the
going to
name to
identify
front end.
the
The tab name they
particular
changed it to front end.
strings or
So that is the
arrays
reason we changed it to
or objects
front end
which are
monitoring. So
not
real user
properly
monitoring we are going to learn.
handled by the programmer? Okay, that is
So
our
we are
intention,
going
right?
to
Our
learn
intention is
about
to
how to set up the sample
suspect the leaks.
application.
If you suspect the
Okay.
leak, then
So there
get
are
into
three
details about
applications are there.
identifying the
Okay, it's up to you
which
which
class or which
application that you
objects
wanted to set up,
the
and you can do your learning. You can do that.
problem
Okay,
is coming or the root
one
cause of the problem.
Java
So
based
those
application
things we will do it
and
using
one
the both with the JProfiler as well as with the
actually one
JVisual
more
VM kind of a tool.
application is
That's a question
also
from
Java
Anil
only,
Chaudhary.
and
Yeah,
one sample application provided by the tool itself.
Hi,
Okay,
very good
there are
morning.
three
Few
tools
questions
are
I
there.
have. So
Which
first
tool
thing is like
you
JProfile
wanted
we're
to
going to
configure, and
use
you
for
can
the app
learn
server
the
dependencies, right?
concepts in a
for
hands-on way. You
any
can do it.
service
Okay,
where
I'll
you
explain
have
all
a
the
piece of
three
Java code that is
tools.
running, and
What
whichever
are all the tools and
service
details?
you want to
So it's
profile.
up to you. You can configure it, and then you
Okay,
can
and
learn the
what tools
concepts.
we are going to
Okay.
use for the
In
instance
our
of web
example,
server?
I'm going to use one sample application
See,
throughout
when
the
it comes
learning,
to
but
your
it's up to you.
profiling, right?
In whatever the
Say
way that you wanted to
there is
learn it,
going to
you
be a
can learn it.
server, and
Okay.
your
So
application
first, what we
Java
will
is going
do,
to run
we will
inside your JVM.
install the
Okay,
one
so
agent
what we're
like
going
that
to
I told
profile
you,
here is
right?
the
That is
JVM
one thing. And next
to
thing,
find out
we
the
are going to
leaks in your Java program.
configure
So
our
Java
sample
program is going to
application.
compile and it is going to get
Okay.
executed in a JVM,
And then
and the
that one
JVM
agent
where all
will
your
monitor
memory is going
this
to be
sample
created,
application,
retained,
and
and stored.
that
So to
data you are going
understand
to
the
display it in the
brief behavior,
Dynatrace
we are going to
account,
access the JVM.
and how to
To
do
access the
the
JVM, the tools are going
root
to
cause
be
analysis
your
and all we are going to
JVisual VM,
discuss. Okay,
which are going to be
installation,
JProfilers,
configuration,
and there are
root
modern
cause
tools available
analysis,
like
all those things we are going
AppDynamics,
to
which
cover
can
it.
also do the
We are
very
going to
same job.
cover it. So in that,
Okay, so
the
it
first
means like
topic what we are covering is
like
actually the
you
front end
set up a
monitoring.
server wherever
Front end
Java
monitoring means what?
based is
Real
already
user monitoring
using,
you are
we can
trying to
use
do it.
JProfiler, right?
So that
Correct,
real
correct. Yes,
user
yes.
monitoring, I am going to
Okay.
explain it in
Yeah.
three
The reason
different
is,
ways. Okay.
see, the Java,
Actually,
the JDK
in
itself is going
real
to have a
time,
set
you
of
can
rules.
use any
Wherever you're
one
going to
type.
go and deploy
Okay.
your
You can use any one
Java
type, but
application,
I am going to
you would
explain
require
all the three
a
types to
JRE,
you with
set of
example,
JDK
with
tools, right? And
hands-on
in there
experience.
you will have
We are
JVisual
going to
VM, you will
discuss
have
three
JConsoles, you will have the Java machine control,
ways
which will
you
come
are going
along
to
with the
do the
SDK, which helps
real
you use
user
it.
monitoring.
You would still need
Okay.
a remote
So
access to
with the
those
sample application that
code
we are
for you to
configuring,
do
right?
the
Using
profiling,
that
because you are going
application,
to
we are
be
going to do the
in a remote
real
place,
user
and your
monitoring.
servers are
Real
going to be
user
in different place, and
monitoring.
you're going to connect
Actually, in this
remotely.
particular session,
Um,
okay,
uh,
during
but
your
still you'll be using the
certification
JProfiler
exam,
or
questions
other
will come.
tools to connect to
Okay, I'll
your
explain step
application
1,
server
step 2,
to do
step
the
3,
same
or I
activity.
mean, method 1,
The only
method 2,
difference is
method 3, like that I'll
you'll be
explain.
doing remotely.
Based on
I'm
that
doing it in my
understanding,
own
that
system.
certification exam
Okay,
question you
so
can
just
easily
last
answer,
question.
because
So
Sure,
right
sure.
now you are
you
doing
are
the
getting the
analysis
question like
based on the
under what
memory loss
situation or what
with
are all the types of real
your
user
memory.
monitoring that are
So
there, right? So that
this analysis
when you
you're
have the
doing
basic
for which
understanding
server?
about
If I want to
in
understand which
method
is
1 what we
from
are doing, in
web
method
server
2
or
what
app
we are
server,
doing, in
then
method
what will
3
be
what
your
we are
answer?
doing, so you can
Okay, so
easily answer that
currently
question.
I have
So that
deployed
also we are
Java
going to cover
application
it.
into my
Okay,
Tomcat.
so with the agent, without agent, or through the extension model,
when you see
or any
my
API
profile
concepts
image,
that are
it
there
is
in
of your
Dynatrace,
process ID.
and then
So
session
all the
replay.
process
Okay,
ID
the
that is
yes,
going to run in
extra
a server.
capability that is actually
First, we need to
available in
get that
Dynatrace to
process ID
capture
of your
your
application, which
activity
you're
in
going
the
to
video
manage.
format. That is
Once you
actually
get
called
that
as
process
session
ID,
replay. So all
then
those
you'll be
things
able
we
to
are
attach
going
those
to
process ID to a
learn
profiling tool,
with respect to
which is a
your
profiling
front
tool.
end monitoring.
Right. So even if it is
Front
going
end
to be
monitoring, or you call that
your
as real user
Tomcat, or
monitoring,
it
when
is
the
going to
real
be your
user
KA or
is
KWatch,
actually accessing the
inside that
application,
you
what
will
is
deploy
actually
this
happening, right?
your
So
application
that
to
we
your
are going
Java
to
and to your bar. And
discuss.
underneath that, it is going to be set off your Java programs, which is going to run in a JVM.
Okay, I'll take a pause here, guys. Any question till
The
now?
profiling part, or the understanding how the memory is handled,
Yes,
is
Shravan.
and that is what we are trying to
Please,
analyze.
one at
To
a
answer
time,
your
guys.
question, I'm using a Tomcat
Yeah,
deployed with the Java application.
yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Datadog is also APM tool.
Okay, so that so the memory leak and garbage collection go
Yeah,
hand in
Shravan, as
hand,
you said,
right?
once the agent has been
The
deployed on the
leaks
required
comes
servers,
because
is it going
DC
to
couldn't able to remove those
automatically configure what are
unused
the
objects.
processes
You don't need to
exist
worry
on the
about
server side,
all these
or
terms,
do we need
terms
to
in your
manually
terminologies,
configure
right?
to
Like your
report the
leaks, the
main
references,
APM
objects.
tool?
Let's get comfortable with all these things in
See,
the
most of the time it is
upcoming
actually
sessions before
automatic.
even we go into this
Okay,
level.
automatically it will
Okay.
Having
identify.
ideas to give you
There are
what you're going
instances,
to
say
expect
like
out of these sessions, so that
your
you get
database
confidence about the
where it
dev
requires
sessions.
credentials to
So
pass
the
it.
session 4,
So
session 5
those
will be
situations
on
maybe
the memories,
you need to
memory
pass
leak,
the value and then it
taking
will
the if them,
start the
analyzing it
monitoring.
with the
Okay,
real
that also
real-time
corner to
application,
corner chance
real-time
only.
problems,
But most of the time it is
and then
self-identifying
debugging it,
or
finding a problem, and then
automatically
we'll also go and
identifying
fix
the
those
process
problems
or
and
service that
we'll
are running on
rerun it.
top of the
Okay.
host. Anyways, you are going
Next
to
would
see
be
through
on
our
threats and
example
threat dump
also. I
analysis.
mean, next
Again, when we talk
next section,
into
we are going to
performance issue,
configure
right?
the one agent.
That is
So that
always
will
going to performance
automatically
issue.
Prin,
do
one
the
quick
auto
question.
discovery of the service or the
So are
process.
you gonna share
But
all
there are
code snippets
instances
with us
your
using
example
some file share?
your MySQL DB is actually designed in
I
a
can
way
do it for
you need
sure.
to pass
The
admin
bot
privilege.
files,
Yeah.
So that you need to
Yes.
pass the username and password,
code
right? So
Jmeter
those
for
are the
creating
small
all this
things.
problem.
Other than that, it will
We can
automatically
share it
identify easily one.
using any of the
Okay.
commonly
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
available forums through GitHub, or it could be through some drives. Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
And
So
when we
this
do,
real user
or when you are
monitoring
doing,
is
are we
very
gonna
very
do
very very
along,
important
or we
topic.
gonna only watch that? So that is my
Why I am
question. That
saying this
we
much,
will do our
this many
hands-on on
very,
our laptops
because
as well, or we will only
in
watch
other
you doing
tools
it.
you are not getting
It is going to
this
be
much of detail, right? Because if you look
mostly
at
I'll
it,
be doing it, you'll be watching it. But I
your
can also do
LoadRunner
what I can do
Jmeter is
is I can
not
send
at
you
all providing
across
this detail.
these
Okay,
things
I mean those who
probably
are
tomorrow, right? So
I mean
we'll have a
any
weekend
performance
for you
testers
to
in
set
this
up your
forum.
environment. Tomorrow, anyway,
I mean
the
right now we
session
are
will be
not
on
measuring
setting up your
the
environment, setting up your
front end
development environment, right?
response time.
Once that is done, I can
Actually
send
saying we
across
are
these
not
WAT
measuring.
files and code
Okay,
snippets.
so
For the
which means
weekend,
that
if you have all
you
these
are only
tools and
providing the
setup done,
HTTP level
you would be
response
able to
time
even do
only.
it along.
You're only
But the
providing
problem
the
is within the 1.5 hour
HTTP level
session,
response time.
if
You
you
are
have a
not providing
problem
the
setting up
complete
configuring it,
end-to-end
we will
or
not be able
full
to
stack
troubleshoot and
numbers.
fix it.
Full stack number
But
you are not
definitely you will
providing.
be
You are
able
only
to do
providing
it
the
along with me.
HTTP level numbers
If you
only.
take an extra effort to
Okay,
do that,
but your
I think that
customer
will
is actually
be
expecting
excellent.
end-to-end response time.
But
Okay.
yes, I
In
can
that
provide you
case,
that
no other
we
go.
have
You
a
can
buffer
use
of this
these kind
weekend
of a tool
Saturday, Sunday,
only.
right?
There
Where
are
you
market
can go
tools like
install all those
online
tools.
tools like web
I
page
can
test
probably share
or
you the list of tools and
GT
where you can download it.
metrics,
And also I
dev
can provide
tools,
you this
lighthouse.
warrant report
There
snippets.
are tools
Yeah,
are
to
available. I'm not
do it
denying it,
along with the
but that
reports.
tool will not give you the details like APM tools, because APM tool is
Does it
actually
answer your question?
cross-correlating the information. Cross-correlating means what?
Yes, Prem.
It is
Thank you.
actually correlating your
Okay,
infrastructure metric. It is
let's move
actually
on. Okay.
correlating your
So threat and
application
threat dump
metric. It is
analysis is
actually
another
correlating your browser metric.
very important
So that it is easy for you to
aspect
cross-correlate and
as a
understand
performance
where the
engineer.
problem is
We are
and
going
then
to
do the
see,
root cause analysis.
especially during the load testing,
Okay.
right?
So
Till
example,
now, what
your
we have seen
front
so
end
far is
component is actually
your
taking
response time
so and so
analysis,
time. Okay.
memory leaks,
and which component is actually taking time, and further it is actually communicating to any service which service is actually taking time, like that and all. You can cross correlate and then understand the issue. That is what the best benefit that is available in the APM tool. In the case of other tools, you are not going to get that benefit. Even LoadRunner Jmeter, you are not going to get the benefit. You are only going to get the HTTP level response time. Okay. Yeah, Saravanan, you can ask your question.
A problem at the code level, how are we going to find a problem? How are we going to go and fix it? So that is how we are going to look into when we talk about the thread.
You are not audible, Saravanan.
I wanted to show you a small a problem which is having a thread. Let me do it quickly. Right. So
if you have any question, you can even type in.
This is my
Hello,
project.
I'm audible now?
Let me run this.
Yes, you are.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible. Please.
I'll also open another tool so that you can
yes, Saravanan, please.
Take a look of the.
You are audible.
So one question here,
well.
So unlike Neuralink tools and all, right, where we install separate agent, for example, to monitor performance, we install JFR and Neuralink infra agent and all. So here we not install different agent, but we can have only one agent which will take care of everything, right? Is my understanding correct?
Okay.
See, anyways, you need to install it in each and every server. That is required. But the name of the agent is actually one agent which takes care of everything.
Okay, so that will take care of even performance and JVM and heap thread, whatever. If I want to monitor, it will take care of everything.
I'll go and run this
yes.
Eclipse program. Okay. So this project has a
so real user monitoring is an important topic.
Thread issue.
Maybe during our regular session, I'll explain why it is actually that much important and all. Okay. And session segmentation, there is a concept called user session. I mean, the entire metric is actually divided into sub-user sessions. Okay, say like you have in a single day, you have lot of activities that are performed, but you are dividing that into user sessions. And user session level, you wanted to analyze it, means that option is also available. And just before, I mean, before this explanation, I mentioned like Dynatrace is a observability platform, like that I told you, right? Dynatrace is an observability platform. Don't worry, I'll explain about observability and all during our regular session. So in observability, okay, observability is the latest concept. In observability,
I'm going to do a login.
There are important things you need to measure it.
Okay.
One is actually called as metrics, logs, trace.
Second is still loading.
Okay, three pillars of observability. But now they moved it to four also. But initially, those days they started telling like three pillars: metrics, logs, trace. So there is a tab available in Dynatrace to measure the matrices. So we are going to learn about matrices means what are all the matrices are available, how you are going to use matrices to construct the dashboard. Like that we are going to discuss in a detailed way. And then there is one more important concept called service level objective.
A call tree analysis, what we saw earlier, to see if there's any particular
objective
method is taking
so
like what we saw
I told you, right, observability is something everybody started talking in the recent trend. There is one more concept also everybody started talking, which is actually called as site reliability engineering.
It is not
SRE, site reliability engineer. Okay, person who is doing that is actually SRE. So that SRE concept, those who wanted to learn or what is actually happening in the SRE, definitely service level objective and service level indicators and all important things to learn. Service level objective, service level indicators and all important things to learn. So that is what we are going to understand in this SLO topic. In Dynatrace, we have the capability, which is actually
threat status. How are you going to monitor it?
Service level objective, how to define it, what is error budget. Okay, all those things we are going to discuss. Okay, So
So I'm
we
doing
will
it.
discuss
Now if you
how
see, there's a two thread
you are going to
started.
get the benefit
A
if you
thread
are
with
defining the
execution
SLO,
core, thread with
or
execution
SLI
5.
means what,
Execution 5, if
or
you see, there's something
SLA
called live
means
green
what.
called
All
monitor.
those things we will
Monitor
discuss
is
in the
nothing but a log
regular
status.
session.
It is
Okay.
monitoring
So I'll
another
take a
thread
pause here, guys. Any question till now?
for it to get into action. So that is not a
Is
good
this
state.
tool can
We
be
should
used
not
only
see
for API
threads in a
orchestration? No front end,
monitor stage.
nothing.
It is
Won't
like
only
a kind of
monitor my
a
API
logged
calls.
status, right? It is waiting for another
No.
thread to
This is for entire application monitoring,
release,
not only for
so that
API.
it can do the processing. So which means there's a
But
problem
if
with
my
the login
application is
code
only
where
API based, my
That
one
problem.
of
also you
the
can monitor.
particular
See,
method or particular
anyways,
piece of
API is
code
actually going to
is
be deployed in
getting
one of the server
logged
only, right?
for
So
a
Right.
through
particular
the
thread.
server, you
Now
are
if
going
you
to
see,
monitor that, and
the
performance of the
execution
API you can
hyphen
measure.
4 is now turning into
And not
part
only
mode, where
performance, no, the
which means it is
orchestration
releasing
call
the
from one and
log,
how the data is
and now my
passing
execution 5
from
is
one
moving
API
into
to
a
another API and
sleeping mode.
request and response
Okay,
information,
so now if you go and
the
look into
speed
it,
of the
right, you would have
API,
got these
all
screens.
the data associated
So
with the API, and all the metrics that
this is again a
get
preview of
based,
how we are
right?
going to troubleshoot the
Everything.
thread problems, right? Typically, you're going to run a
So
road
that
test.
is
You're
also
going to
covered,
have a
and
lot of
in Dynatrace
server
there is a concept called
users going to
synthetic
get
monitoring,
started,
right?
and when you see
In
slowness,
synthetic monitoring, there is
this is
one
one of
type
the way
called
you would
HTTP
be able
monitor.
to go into the
HTTP monitor. Okay.
visual VM,
So that
pick your particular process
type is
ID,
for the
and then go into the
API call
different threads and see if
measurements
there are
only.
going to be
Okay,
a
basically you
thread
are
with
going to
a
configure your API call with the
log.
details,
And again, from
and
here, you'll be
you
able
can
to
say like
take a
every 5
thread dump,
minutes or every 10 minutes,
and
every 15
ideally
minutes, like
we'll
that,
take
if you are configuring the
3 or 4
frequency.
or 5 thread dump
So it will
to
hit that
monitor
API
the
over the period of time, and it
various
will
thread
say the availability of
that
the
are
API and also
created by your
performance of the
application.
API, all
So
those
we'll go
things that
through
will
how
be
to
measured. So
analyze
that is
these
one
thread
of the
dumps. There are tools available, and
capability.
you yourself
Along with
can
that,
go
you
and
can
analyze
monitor
it,
the
right?
other parameters also
What are
by
the
configuring the one time.
various parameter inside this
Okay.
logs? Which one we need to look into it? The thread state.
Yeah.
So all
So
these things
not
we'll get
only
into a detailed approach when we
service level
analyze the
objective, dashboards.
when we go
Okay,
for
how
this
you are
session.
going to create
But
your
again,
dashboard, clone
the
the
idea here is to
dashboard,
give you a preview of
share the dashboard,
how
like
are we
that
going
we
to
are
deal
going to
about
discuss.
it.
This is also very
How we are going
important
to
capability, because
get the session
in a single
structured for a
common
thread dump
place you are
analysis.
going to configure
Okay.
all your matrices,
So
so that you don't want to
this is
go
all
to
about
each and every tab and
troubleshooting the
all.
problem using the tools, getting
You
the
can
thread
configure
dumps,
it in the
analyzing
single
the thread
place. You
dumps,
can monitor
and
everything, and then
you'll be able to
identify the
comfortably
issue.
do all these
All
activities.
those things you can do it in the
Next is
dashboard
your
level.
client-side performance.
And then the very,
Right?
very,
This is
very
again one
important
very huge area.
concept, guys. This
Though
is
there are everything is
very
optimized at the
important,
server
because
end, right?
in industry,
You might still
everybody
have
is
a
actually
problem as an end
expecting
user.
this kind of a
When I say an
capability
end
only.
user, your load
How
testing
to
would be
identify the problem,
doing very good. All your response time would be hitting
analyze the
SLA.
problem,
But when you're going to
root cause of the problem,
access it
all
from the
those things
browser,
are
right?
very, very
None of our
important.
load testing tools is going to mimic
Dynatrace,
your
there is
browser
a
behavior
concept called
unless you're
automatic
going to use the true
alerting and
client
all.
protocols,
So you are going to
or
define
Selenium
your
kind of scripts
metric
to measure the response time. You will not
threshold,
identify problems
and
at the
then
browser level.
how
But
to
as an end
alert
user,
it,
right,
how to
you
notify it.
using
All
Amazon.com
those things are available in
at your
Dynatrace, and we are going to
home, right?
simulate
So
two
you won't
problem.
worry
One
about
is
whether the problem is there at
CPU
server
saturation
or
problem,
network or
another one is
database or
long garbage collection
browser.
problem.
You want the
CPU
application to be faster.
saturation
If
problem
there's going to be a problem
and
from the
long
client side,
garbage collection problem.
you're going to get
Practically we are
impacted,
going to do
right?
this.
So the client side
And
performance
once you are
analysis is
getting
going to
that
be very, very
CPU
important
saturation problem
for you to
or
give a very
a
good
long
rich
garbage
experience
collection
to your end
problem,
user. And
in
there
the
are
screen
we are
level
going to go
and
through
also in
a
the
lot of tools
notification
as well
channel
for
level.
this.
Look at here, there is a
We are going to go
notification
through
channel
various
option is also
recommendations.
available. I mean, you will get the
Recommendation, I would
mail and
say,
you
a
will get
simple
the Slack
example, right?
notification and all.
If you are in
But
India
I'm saying
and
in
you
the
are going to
screen
access the
level
page,
also you are going to get the
you can have
notification,
the
and how
servers
you are
in
going to do
India
the root
itself
cause
rather than
analysis
you
also.
having
We
a
are going
server
to
in your
discuss.
US
Okay,
or
root
UK.
cause analysis.
Your
There is one more
non-HTML files,
capability called
right?
visual
Your
resolution
like
path.
your JavaScript
Visual
or the style
resolution
sheet
path is nothing but
is
when
no
the
need to
problem
get rendered
started,
from
when
your
it is actually ended, how much
US or
time
UK.
it is
It can be
actually
rendered
prolonged.
locally itself.
All those
So
things also you
looking
can do
into
the
this, all
analysis.
this
This
call, where
problem
it is getting
analysis tab,
downloaded,
I would say
whether
we need to do
the
lot of
caching is handled
practice,
properly.
because
I'm going from
your
a
entire
page
work
1 to
is
page
actually
2.
here only. Why we are using Dynatrace, why we
Resources
are
should be properly
purchasing
cached so
Dynatrace,
that it is going
everything
to be
is
fast.
actually
So
because
we're going
of
to look into
problem
various
identification, problem
recommendations
analysis, root cause analysis.
which we
For
can
that
give to
purpose only
developer.
we are purchasing this tool.
And for this, I
So
think toolings
this
are very
section we are
simple.
going to
You
learn in a
can
detailed
just
way,
look
so that
into your developer tools.
you will
There
identify the
are good
problem,
tools available
analyze the
within the
problem,
developer
provide the
Chrome itself, right?
recommendations and root
Say
cause
for example,
details and
you
all.
have something
So
called
that is the
Lighthouse.
reason we are going to learn this.
you
Top.
can minimal level what you can do is
Okay.
you can look into the F12
So and
function,
also
right? You would have seen it
profiling
lot
and
of times when you are going
optimization
to
is
create
an
a script.
section where you are going
So
to learn
developer
about
tool
memory
itself will give
dumps.
you a lot
In
of
Dynatrace, you have
insight.
the
It
option
don't
to
give you
capture the memory dump.
insight, it will give you a
Memory
lot of
dump is
data
otherwise called as
for you
heap
to
dump. And then
understand a
is there
problem.
any
You just
process
go
crash? And then
click
CPU
it,
level
look
details.
into the headers,
Your
right?
process
Simple
is
thing is
actually
headers.
running,
You can
where
look
it is
into whether
actually
the proper
consuming CPU, right?
caching is followed
That
or not.
also.
So if you see
And
here,
then I also
the
told
cache
you
control is
synthetic
there.
monitoring.
It is kept
Synthetic
for
monitoring
maximum age,
concept also we
which
are
is
going
good,
to
right?
learn.
Because
And
you need to go
management
to the
zone.
server
You
again
are
to get the
providing a
resource,
fine-grained
and
access. I mean, individual team
it is
level access and all
compressed.
you can
So
give it.
content
And
is
then process
encoded
level,
with the
service level monitoring,
GC.
database level
Okay,
monitoring,
so these are
host
the
level
few things
monitoring,
which you,
network
as
level
an
monitoring.
engineer, you can look
This is
into
what I
each of the
told
resource.
you.
When you
All
see
the
the
layers
slowness
we
in
are
your
going to
page,
cover. Full stack
you will be able
monitoring
to
we
do
are
all
going
these things,
to
which I will explain
cover.
explain it in
Okay.
in
And
a
then
proper way, right?
technologies and
How are you
process
going to
that
go
are
about it? Which
running.
tool you are going to use it?
And I also
How
told
are you
you
going to
there is a
look into the
latest
resources?
concept called
What
observability, right?
recommendation
So
you can
that
give it? So
observability
all
basic
these things
concepts
are
also we are going to
going to be
discuss.
part of your client
And
side
performance
optimization.
testing tool
There's
level
something called
integration, LoadRunner
audit, right?
integration and
Lighthouse
Jmeter
plugin
integration
that comes
also
along with
we
your
are going to learn. Tips and
browser
tricks and
itself.
real
You
world
can just
examples
quickly go
also we are
and
going to
generate a
discuss. So
report which will
if
tell
you look
you
at it, we covered
what
almost
are the
all the
areas
layers:
you can
host
improve
level,
it,
service level, process
right?
level,
So this is one
database
of the
level.
tool which will
All the
also
layers we are
get
going to
into the
cover, and
detail.
then we are going to
There
learn
is
our
also one more thing is how we
understanding,
can even
so that
automate
in
the client side
future,
performance, right?
where there is a
Because
problem in your
typically, if
application,
you see
you can
automation
straight away
testers,
do all your
they'll create
analysis,
Selenium
provide your
scripts.
findings and
So
recommendations to
even
the
instead we going and get
stakeholder.
this metrics
Okay.
manually,
So
you can also
those who wanted
rely
to
on the
enroll for this course journey,
Selenium scripts.
this is
When they're
Kumar
going to
sir
run it, you can
number
get the
80
metrics out of it. We'll
199
also look into those few things, how we
52 7.
can
Okay. I'm going to copy paste this
insert
number
few
in the chat. You guys can take
commands
it.
in a Selenium script, right? I'll also walk you through these things.
80199
I'll also walk you through
52427 his
the
number.
APIs
Okay.
that is available
And
within
I'll
the
also
browser.
copy
There is
paste the
something
course
called
content in the
navigation
chat. You
API,
guys can take it.
resource API, with which
Okay.
you will be able to get
So
these timings.
those who
So
wanted to enroll for
performance
this course
timing for
journey,
navigation
please
start,
reach
end. So all these
Kumar sir
things you can get it from an
80199
automation script, from a Selenium script. That is also
52427.
something
Okay, this is actually a weekday
that's
session.
something we are
Monday to Friday we are
observing
going to
commonly
have the
in
session.
the
Saturday,
today's
Sunday holiday.
market.
7:30 a.m.
So
to
this is about the
8:30
Lighthouse report,
a.m.
right? When
Indian
you run
time.
it for
Okay,
this page,
IST
it will
time.
give you a couple of
Correspondingly in
metrics.
other
It will
locations,
also
the
give
other
you
location
the
timing is all mentioned here in the website
recommendations,
itself.
right?
Okay,
We
so
will get
for
into detail
US
about
UK
what is the recommendation,
timing is all
what is
mentioned
all
here.
about.
So
So
7:30 a.m. to
when you
8:30
get into the
a.m.
client side
IST,
performance engineering
correspondingly in other
session,
locations also.
and as I said,
All
right,
these
the
sessions are
metrics.
actually recorded.
I'll also
Okay, these sessions
help
are
you
actually recorded, and the
understand
videos
or
will
how to
be
get it,
we will be
get these
giving in the
metrics in
playlist URL,
through
YouTube
APIs.
playlist URL. On a daily
So
basis
it's all about
we will
making
provide
the
that
best use
YouTube
of the developer
playlist
tools
URL videos.
rather than
These
using
videos
the
you are going to have it for
fancy
the
commercial
lifetime
tools.
access.
We'll be able to get a lot
These
of
videos you
metrics
are
from
going
the
to have it
browser
for the
itself.
lifetime access. Say like
From
on
an
a
engineering
fine day you are
perspective,
unable
we'll
to
use
attend
this
the session,
data
means no
to
problem. You can
provide a
watch the video,
recommendation.
you can bring
Okay,
your questions as well.
so that's
We'll
about the
discuss. Okay,
client side performance
so
engineering. We'll get into the
these
details
videos you
about
are going
all
to
these
have it for the
aspects
lifetime
when we get
access,
into
and all
that
the
particular session.
artifacts, supporting
And
documents,
next we'll
softwares
go
and
on to the
everything we are going to share it
so
through
now
the Google
we have
Drive, so that you
done
can
with the
download, set up
profilings,
the
we have
tool
done
in
with the
your
client side
machine,
engineering. Next is the
do all your
monitoring
learning
strategy,
in
right?
your
You
machine
as an
itself.
engineer, it's very important for
All
you
the
to
artifacts and
set up
supporting
right monitors.
documents we are going
You
to
know
share it through
architecture
the
better.
Google Drive
You
also.
have gone through
Okay,
design phase. You
these
know what are the
this
components are
session
available.
we are going to have it
For
for
you to
15
analyze
plus hours
during a
of
load
session.
test
15
or even
plus
in
hours of
production, right?
session we are going to
Unless
have
you
it
have
daily
right
1 1 hour.
monitors, you have
15
right
plus hours of session we are going to have it. So those who
configuration
wanted
set
to
for this
enroll
monitor,
for this
you
course
will not
journey,
get the
please
data,
reach out to
which
Kumar
means
sir
you will not be able to analyze it if there's a problem.
80199
So
is number. Okay,
defining
so
a monitoring
already we
strategy
started
both for
our
your performance environment
journey,
and for production
and
environment is very
tomorrow we
important.
are going
So
to
you
have
as
our
an
day
engineer,
one
you have to
session. The
do it,
introduction part
and
of
we
the
will see
session
how
we are
are we
going to
going to
have it.
define a monitoring
If you don't
strategy.
want to miss
And
anything,
then
we have a
we'll also
continuous
look into
learning with all the concepts.
JConsole,
Please reach out to Kumar sir for further
how we are going to
information.
hook into
We
a
are going to
JVM
cover
to get this
certification
data
questions
for
also.
monitoring.
Okay,
We'll also get into
certification
detail
questions
about
also
how
we
are
are
we
going
going
to
to
cover, and
use the
we are going to
Linux
cover
monitoring
interview level what are all the
tools
questions will come.
like enroll,
Industry best
VM
practices
stats,
also we are
IO
going
stats.
to
So
cover
we'll have a
this. Okay, those who
practical
wanted to
session
have
on
a
connecting to
continuous
a
learning,
Linux machine,
please reach out to Kumar sir.
accessing the
801999
bits
52427 is
and
number. Any
executing
question,
those
Kestil?
to we'll do a similar
Yeah,
exercise what you're doing
hello,
in Windows
Rajesh
10
here.
to see how
Yes,
these
Rajesh.
Yeah.
Linux monitoring is
So
going to work.
this course is
And I'll
only
also
for who is going
to
to
make
be
our
part of the
job simple, right?
Dynatrace
With the
monitoring
open source
area,
options
or
available,
it's
you don't need to
because
even enter
I'm
into
planning to
Linux
move
type
towards
commands.
SRE,
There are
in
very
which
simple ways to do it. There is something
observability
called
is one of the
Telegraph
part of SRE.
InfluxDB,
So
Grafana
will
kind of a
this
setup where
training
once you configure the
help
telegraph,
me
all the
for
data from your
help
Linux
me
service,
towards
like your
moving
CPU, memory,
observability
your
with respect
network
to SRE
data,
concept?
all these
Yes, yes, that
data
is
can
what I
be
told you. I
pulled
don't
up
know
from
whether you
Linux
joined the
box
initial
and
part
it
of
can be
the
sent
Yeah,
to
I
discussion.
joined in the
a
middle. I
dashboard
joined in the
Yeah,
sent
middle
to
because due to
a
some
okay.
database
technical
where it will
reason.
be easy for
Yeah,
you to
so we
visualize
are
it. So
covering the
you don't need to go
metrics
to
part
each
of
of
it.
your Linux box,
Okay, and
type
we are
your
covering the
commands
service
like
level
pop
objective
or
part of it,
mem
and we are
info.
also covering the
So
So
distributed
that
traces
means
instead of
part of it.
struggling through all these
you will cover which
various
metrics
routes,
will
we
be
can also do
useful
this
for
pretty
monitoring the
simple.
application
We
and
know
which
anyway
metrics will
Dynatrace
be
or
useful
AppDynamics is
for
also going to do
covering
a
the
similar job, but
full stack
most of the
monitoring. Those
organization,
part will
maybe a
you
bigger
cover
organization might not have
Yes,
the
as
yes.
part of
possibility
this
of using
training,
Yeah. So,
right?
AppDynamics
How
or
to write a
so
Dynatrace.
metrics.
So for you to look into it from an UI, we
yeah.
can also
So there is
propose as an engineer
a
to set up these
introduction part of the
right tools,
observability is
open source
also
tools.
added.
So we'll also
So I'll
in the
Okay.
explain
session we will
what is
configure the
observability,
telegraph,
how in industry
take the
people
data
are
out of
doing.
your Linux machines
Metrics means
and
what,
put it
logs
in the
means what,
InfluxDB,
trace
and we
means
will
what,
visualize it in the
all those things
Grafana
we
kind of
will
a
cover.
database.
Okay.
So idea is to you as a
Can you
engineer,
write a
how are
couple
you
of
going to
metrics
strategize your
as
monitoring
part of
aspect?
this
How are
training?
you going to monitor your Linux boxes? What are the various performance
You want
counters?
me to
And we're also
show the
going to the
queries?
network
Yeah, we
monitoring
can do
tool
that,
is
no
very
problem.
important. And we
We
will
can do that, right? Because
get
I
an
need something,
hands-on on the
some
Telegraph
queries which is
InfluxDB
related to
Grafana as well.
application. For example,
Okay.
find
Next is
out
the
the throughput
database
and transaction error
aspect,
or
which is
timeout
again
error.
that is a one
At least 2 to 3
separate tier,
example
right?
with
When we
respect
talk
to
about
application.
all the JVMs and
Can you able
client
to
side
write a
performance
coding
and
during this
the
training?
monitoring aspect, database performance is
See,
going to be
that is
again a very
actually
big topic.
readily available.
So
Okay, but
earlier it
we'll
used to
write
be
it as
only
well, no
Oracle.
problem.
Now with the NoSQL database
Oh,
picking up,
readily available, but at
we
least
also
you can
wanted to
show,
see
right?
how are
Which
we going
metrics
to
we
Yeah,
can
monitor
use
the
to.
NoSQL database like
Okay.
MongoDB or Elasticsearch.
yeah.
We'll get into basics about
Okay.
Oracle, how
But do
Oracle
you have
handles
any other
your
advanced
process
course
and memory,
with respect
and
to
we'll also get into
observability?
detail about your
See, we are going to add
analyzing
that
your
in the
database reports like your
subsequent
AWS reports,
batches.
and
We
how
are
are you going
working on
to set
setting
up
up that
your clustering
applications.
when it
That is
comes to
what we are
performance.
doing it
Again,
right now.
clustering is very important.
So no problem.
Your
We usually give the benefits to our
recovery.
learners.
When something
I
goes
mean,
wrong with a node,
if you want,
how
you can
the database is
be
going
part of
to
the batch,
handle
or you
the
can
load and the
get the
request. So as a
videos
performance engineer,
once it is actually done.
our role
That's
is to
provisions we are
also
providing. But it is right now
monitor
not
and to see
available.
how
But
these
we are
clusterings are
working on
done
implementing that. There is a
to
separate
meet the
course we are
various
planning for that.
requirements, right? So we'll go through the concept of clustering.
Okay,
We'll go through the
that
concept
will
of
be
the
great.
recovery strategy,
Yeah.
monitoring of Oracle,
Okay,
MongoDB,
thanks a lot.
This
Elasticsearch database.
Thank
yeah,
you.
this
Okay, as part of
Dynatrace is
the
used. You said web
session
application
begin.
monitoring, no?
Okay,
Means you be
and then
No, no,
in this.
not like
so
that. It is not
now
like
see
that. It is for
so far, right? I think
everything.
what we are seeing is
Anything that is
traditional way
actually
of doing
running
it,
on your
right?
machine,
We are
it'll
going
monitor
to
it. But
probably
in
Java
the recent times,
applications. We are running
everybody
some
more
kernels,
focused on
making
end
dumps,
user experience,
monitoring the
user
database,
experience. Okay,
client-side
so that is the
performance.
reason more
One more
focused on web
important aspect
application related.
in
So you
today's
mean to
Okay.
say this can
at
be
least
installed
DevOps
and
world or
monitor
cloud world, right?
any application like
Resiliency is also is
Salesforce,
part of the
SAP?
performance engineering.
See,
Resiliency is
Salesforce
nothing
and
but
all.
when something goes
See,
wrong, still
Salesforce. I mean,
how my
I don't want
users
to
are not going to get impacted.
mention the name, but
So
any
I
SaaS
might
vendors.
have a
Okay,
CPU
any
problem.
SaaS
I still
vendors,
might
what
have
they
a
are doing,
memory leaks.
they
I
are
can still have a
they
service
are
crash.
having the control.
Because
They
whatever
will
you
never
optimize it,
expose
there are
their
still going to be problems, right?
information to
As
others.
a
Okay,
business user,
but
how
the
resilient is my
infrastructure
systems
monitoring
are
you
going to
can
be.
do it, but not
For
like
that,
your
resiliency
application
engineering,
monitoring or
resiliency
front end
strategy is going to
monitoring.
be
It is not
important.
possible because the
We'll
vendor
go
is
through
not
the concepts of
vendor
how
maintains their
Netflix has
system as a
designed
black
the
box.
chaos
So
monkey,
that is the
right?
reason
A
you
monkey
cannot see the data. But
unplugging
if
wires
it
of
is
different
your
servers
own web
and creating
application,
various
end to end, you
problems,
can
how my
see the
application is
data.
going to
Okay,
behave.
that is
So
actually a known
that's the concept of
aspect
resiliency.
if you
We'll
are
go
using
through
the
how
SaaS based
resiliency is
application. I mean,
done,
readily
why it is
available market
important.
products
We'll
that you are
go
using,
over a
right,
couple
out
of
of the box products.
scenarios
So
where
for those, you
in a
will not get the
particular
full stack
node,
monitoring
CPU
because
is more, how it is handled.
the
You
most of
heard about
the
the
control is
auto
actually
scaling
with the vendor,
load
and
balancing aspect,
wherever
right? So
our
all these
scope
things
is
will
there, we
come
can
into
do the
picture.
monitoring.
The
Okay.
cloud, yes, auto scaling is there. It
Okay,
can
okay.
easily spin up
Even
multiple
when you are
machines
proposing that to the
even if
client
there's a
also, So we need to get the clarity from the client what kind of a product or what kind of a application that we are going to monitor. Based on that only we can purchase whether we wanted to have a full stack monitoring or you wanted to have an infrastructure monitoring. That is how we have to propose. That and all we'll discuss in the later regular sessions. I'll explain that. Okay.
How am I going to define my resiliency strategy? Resiliencies could be at database level.
The
So
log monitoring also will.
The server level, right? So
See, log
we will
monitoring
be
right now
looking
it is
over
not there, but
all the details in the
I'll
particular
see
session.
how to
And then
merge
I'll
with
go
the
over the
current
production
content,
monitoring.
Rajesh.
I talked about
I'll do
SDLC
that.
cycle, right? If you clearly look into my sessions,
Okay.
start at the beginning,
So with this,
where I'm
we'll
going to
complete
profile
our
it. I'm going to
session
find
for
problem
today.
during
We'll
development
regroup
stage,
tomorrow
and
for
then
our
I'm
day
going
one
into
session.
the client side performance.
Those who wanted
And
to
then
have a continuous
it is
learning,
more
please reach out
about
to Kumar
my
sir for further
preparing
learning.
my
Guys,
application for
thanks for
production,
joining.
like
Thanks
doing
for giving me this
resiliency
opportunity.
engineering.
Thanks all.
And then now my
Bye.
app is ready. How am I going to define my strategy to monitor it properly in the production as well? I want to have right alert set so that if it's a problem with my end user in production, um, how is my synthetic monitoring and real user monitoring is going to work? So all these things are going to be part of my production monitoring. Okay, and we are going to go over a couple of tools which are going to be used during a production monitoring. Okay, so we'll go over how Dynatrace, AppDynamics is going to help in setting up these synthetic and real user monitoring. Okay, this is going to be more of a theoretical session because we'll not get into real production activities here, right? But we'll still talk about the concepts. We'll still talk about how we need to set up these synthetic monitoring. How can we reuse the Vuegen scripts? How we can reuse the Jmeter scripts? How we can reuse the Selenium scripts? And what are the metrics we are going to look into the real user monitoring, which is going to help us in defining our workloads as well, right? So all these things we'll talk about in the this session. And okay, this is another big area, right? So far we have seen about web, but we know we all using mobile, right? Android mobile, iOS mobile. In India, it is when most of us are using Android, right? In US, it is more of iOS. And when we say native app, right, when we are taking from Play Store or App Store, those are still apps, still programs that are going to get executed in your device. And there are going to be problem. You would have seen app crashing, app slowness, app eating battery, right? All these are again problems which has to be analyzed by a performance engineer when it comes to mobile. So we'll get into detail about how are we going to handle the mobile native app performance, what are tools we are going to use it, how are you going to monitor the Android or iOS. So this is a very deep dive session on mobile engineering, where we'll specifically dig into a Android aspect, concepts of CPU, memory, crashes, heap dump. All these things are applicable for mobile as well, because that is again a small piece of application which is running in your mobile hardware. So your mobile is a server. You're installing an app from a Play Store. It is going to consume CPU. It is going to consume memory. It is going to create problems. And we, as an engineer, have to analyze it, debug it, provide the recommendation. So this session is going to be completely on mobile engineering aspect. And then finally, we will end up with the DevOps and cloud as well, right? Because now everybody is talking about DevOps, everybody is talking about cloud. So even if you could get into basics of all these things, what we talked about, still there are going to be questions around DevOps or cloud wherever you're going to go, right? When you're going to attend an interview or whenever you're going to get into a project, they're still going to talk about DevOps or cloud because it's all very famous jargons nowadays, right? So we should all, at least as a performance engineer, we should know how are you going to set up this continuous testing, continuous monitoring. We'll probably set up few Jenkins job, connect to Jmeter, and we'll also get into AWS way of monitoring it, right? We talked about JConsole, JVisual VM to collect metrics. How can we do it in the cloud world? So if it is going to be Amazon cloud, how are you going to use CloudWatch to get these monitoring? We'll get a hands-on into how to access the AWS console, how to configure CloudWatch, how to get metrics. So those hands-on session with the AWS cloud as well as on the DevOps. We're not going to go into a deep dive because this itself is a very huge topic. But with my whatever I have seen, we are going to get questions very often, at least about the basics of all these things. So we should know what is what. So for that level, we'll get into the details, concepts. We'll also show some practical way of creating jobs, running it from Jenkins, connecting to AWS, and then connecting to CloudWatch. And running few applications, monitoring it. So we'll do it in the this particular session. And then usually this non-functional requirement engineering strategy would be beginning of most of the engineering sessions, right? But I wanted to keep it at the last, just because one is it's completely theoretical. We don't want to go into theoretical in the start. And second is, once you know about all these basic components of heap, stack, heap dumps, client analysis, right? You would be able to define your strategy properly. You will be able to define your NFR properly. So I would rather say we'll go into get all the details about the engineering activity, and then when we now talk about the strategy, you yourself will be able to easily chart out all these things, right? You will be able to easily understand what it is going to be there in the engineering strategy. If I'm going to talk about in the beginning, it's going to be more of a black box, which I don't want to do it. So that's how we are going to wrap up the session. So a series of session is going to be on the concepts of Java, profiling, using tools, creating problems, debugging it, fixing it, client-side performance, server-side performance, and then resiliency and mobile performance. And then we will end up, how are we going to draft the strategy? How are we going to look into NFRs? That is where we are going to end this batch. Yeah, so I'll probably stop here. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
This is Anil. So you talked about the thread of analysis. So I would like to understand, like, the thread means the users that we are usually used for running our scripts. Is that so, or it is something else?
Okay. The name thread is something relevant for most of the concept, right? In Jmeter, they call the user as a thread because if you see script, right? Script is a code which is going to run in a Jmeter. So for a Jmeter context, that is a thread. But what we are going to look into is the application server threads, where you're going to enter Amazon.com and it is going to go and do a call to your backend server. That is going to be one thread that is going to be used in your application server, which is going to connect to your JVM. That thread is what we are going to deal about, not the load testing tool threads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Prem.
Yes.
This is Kirti Kumar. You have mentioned about these 14 sessions, right? So how long will be the each sessions?
Each session is planned for 1.5 hours. Anywhere between 1 or 10 minutes to 1.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it is planned, and yeah, it is going. It will go up to probably 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. So yeah, it will be definitely minimum of 1 to 1.5 hours for each session. It will have a logical conclusion, so that it might be 1 hour 15 minutes or 1 hour 30 minutes. It might go over a little bit more than 1.5